Hey everyone, today we're testing out the new Marvel United Juggernaut promo cards that were exclusive to Gencon. I screen capped these and self-printed them as I could afford the £100 for 12 cards or whatever ridiculous price these are when you're watching this. But alongside Juggernaut we have Charles Xavier and Legion, so it's a bit of a family affair going against Onslaught, who has 7 health against 3 heroes, and his special rule is when a hero is knocked out, he don't actually activate a BAM. He draws a master plan card face down, so he basically wins by going through all his deck. On a BAM, each hero with Crisis deals 1 damage to a hero of their choice in the same location, unless they are alone, and then they take the damage themselves before discarding all Crisis they have. And Overflow, you put a random threat card back on the board, unless all threats are in play, and then one hero takes a Crisis token, so we need to be mindful of his power here. Anyway, here is the board setup. We have all the standard locations from the core box. Onslaught has some pretty tasty threats, so I hope we have enough heroic actions, but let's begin. It is, of course, Onslaught who goes first, and he moves just 1 to the nearest drop signal, but it does push our heroes 1 away. None of them have Crisis, so the BAM does nothing. He just places some civilians. The ever-impatient Juggernaut decides to start by utilising his double wild, using a heroic on the threat and bashing a thug. Legion is up next, not listening to Charles. He decides to use his Jack Wayne card. He has nothing to swap, but instead places an heroic token on the threat, moves to the Institute, and bashes a thug, along with placing a heroic on the threat. Xavier, going last, decides to play a move an heroic card. Moving twice to Asteroid M, he places both tokens on the threat there. Now with that, it's back onto Onslaught's turn. He moves to another close drop location and draws a master plan card face down. His BAM once again does nout, but we do get 2 overflow, so both Legion and Juggernaut take the Crisis, and the board ends up looking like this. As we go into Juggernaut, who's up next, and he plays his charge card. First he moves to the Institute and plays a heroic on the threat. Then he charges into the Weapon X facility and punches 2 thugs. Legion goes next with his Delphic card, clearing the first threat and then punching a thug. He does look at the top card, but decides not to place it at the bottom, keeping it in play instead. Xavier is up last, and he decides to play a double wild, as everything else he has is a bit useless, so he clears the threat, punches a thug, and saves a civvy, punching the last thug off the board with an end turn effect. So Onslaught is up once more, and he moves to another drop location. This one gives Legion another Crisis, meaning he has 2, and so the BAM effect smacks Legion for 2 and Juggernaut for 1. He then places all his thugs, which we need to defeat the threat, hence why I kept the card, but this is the board state right now. So Juggernaut decides to play his armor card that's shockingly missing a U. He clears the threat and discards a card for 2 punch tokens, as he is invulnerable right now. Legion plays his Cindy card, punching a thug at the hangar bay, punching a thug at the Institute, and rescuing a civvy before drawing up to 3 cards. It does mean that the thug threat is clear though, so it's Onslaught's turn, who pulls a Mental Illusions card. A bit of a blessing in disguise, as it pushes all the heroes directly opposite, even with them taking a Crisis each. He of course places his thugs though and gets 1 overflow, which means power absorption comes back into play. Xavier is up though next. He uses his move an heroic card to draw to the hangar and clear the 4th threat, meaning Onslaught can take damage, punching a thug in the location also. Juggernaut couldn't really play much, as he needed to draw cards at the end of his turn, so he played a move and punch card to try and help Legion out, rescuing a civilian at the Institute. Onslaught moves counterclockwise to the Weapon X facility and draws a Master Plan face down. He then bams, causing damage to all 3 heroes, and places some civilians, causing 1 more overflow and bringing Mind Control back into play, leaving the board looking like this. Legion plays Susan in Sunshine, so he moves 1 to the Weapon X facility and hits Onslaught for 2, but does only 3 damage with the effect in play, as the nigh invulnerable threat is still in play. Please correct me here, but the Susan effect for me activates straight away before dealing damage. That's how I played it anyway. I would like to know, as I played a move and punch card with Xavier along with his punch token, meaning he caused 6 damage, which was reduced to 5 with nigh invulnerable still in play, knocking Onslaught out and winning the game. So, what do I think of Juggernaut's exclusive hero cards? Well, they are fine, but for me, he doesn't feel like a rampaging non-stop beast. He has only 2 charge cards and 2 move and punch cards. I like the armor, but I feel he should be moving and doing stuff more. He has a total of 4 moves that ain't much for me on 12 cards. I feel like the heroics should have been ditched outside of the wild actions, but those are just my thoughts. I really wouldn't rush out and pay loads to have this deck, but let me know what you think anyway. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed this video, and why not click subscribe. Thanks for watching.